about the power of you. You will change the world.
You're listening to the Chronicles of Livin podcast.
Do the damn thing.
Where we talk to visionary dreamers like you about living their best life.
The highest, truest expression of yourself.
It's time to step into the past, present, and future with an open and healthy mind. Now let's talk.
Greetings, my visionary dreamers. How is everybody doing on Let's Talk Sunday? This is Adionne, your dream pusher, your lifeguard, saving you from the world, from some real bullshit. And you are listening to Chronicles of Livin podcast show, the show for everyday people doing everyday things, living everyday life. You know us extraordinary folk over here doing the damn thing the best way we can. I guess we really are. We needed another hand clap for that, for our performances. And to you newcomers out here, thank you and welcome to the show. My veterans, I love you so much for always chiming in. And you can join in the chat at any time, wherever you are. Leave a comment. Definitely, if you've been getting something out of the podcast show, any show, even if it's one show out of 227 episodes, please share the show, give me a like, give me a follow, all that good stuff. I so appreciate you all for everything you do. And you know, last week I didn't come on. My mother was in town, and I was thinking of bringing her on, but then it was just like, nah, just enjoy this quality time. So to you newcomers out there, this show is really just about whatever topic spirits gives me. I just talk about it, and I'm your sister, I'm your cousin, I'm your girlfriend for the day, or whatever you need. And just think about it as a conversation of us taking a topic and just looking at it from a different angle, a different perspective, and hopefully and prayerfully helping you to walk away from the show with some enlightenment. You know, even if it's a topic that you've never dealt with before, but maybe you saw in hindsight through a friend or family member. That's the purpose of this show, is for us to look at life from a different angle and just receive things in a different way, in a better way, you know? So, excuse me, guys. I was eating some Oreo cookies and drinking some milk. So today's topic is: you are doing nothing. You are just being done. You are doing nothing. You are just being done. And that is a quote taken from the late, great Wayne Dyer, one of the people that I so admired and I have been listening to and learning from for years. God rest his soul. Awesome man. And, you know, I was looking at some notes and it came up, and in my spirit, I felt like this is something that's interesting to talk about, and I really don't know where this conversation is going to go, but let's do it. So you are doing nothing. You are just being done. Now, I guess what I would gather from that quote is that for example, we think that from day to day, we are putting forth effort on the things that we want out of life, or things that we want in work or relationship or whatever we got going on. And sometimes those efforts don't flow the way we want it to flow. And sometimes we could get caught up in our head as into, well, damn, I'm doing the most, but yet I'm getting the less out of this, you know? And I believe that's a part of you are doing nothing. You're just being done, because at that point that you maybe feel that way, if you don't step aside and just look at it and say, well, okay, why is this not working out the way I expected it to, or I planned it to, and you look at it from a different angle and see the way it worked out and see how did it benefit you, or maybe how it did not benefit you. Because if it benefited you without working out the way you intended it to, then the universe always got a different plan than we do anyway, right? And that just shows you sometimes that maybe you may be trying to have control over a situation that you should loosen the reins on. Maybe that could be it. Now, if on another note, it didn't work out and it kind of went left or sour or whatever, maybe that's a plan that you should abort. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's, the universe just showing you, no, this is not what we want for you. This is not what you should want for yourself. We are here, but we had to allow this to happen and to unfold this way so that you can know, like, pump your brakes. Don't go that route. Don't do that thing. You get what I'm saying? I don't know how this is going to tie in, but I'm going to go for it. We went to see the Black Panther Part 2, was it Thursday? I think Thursday. We saw it the day before it released. Actually, out here in some parts of Georgia, we were lucky to catch it before then. My son had texted me. I was out and texted me and was like, I got some tickets for us, me, my mom, and him. And we went to go see it. It's awesome, awesome movie, guys. And I feel like watching the Black Panther, even though it's supposed to be, is it fictional, non-fictional? I always get that mixed up. But it's supposed to be kind of like made up. But I believe it's partly made up, but it's partly history from the way I think it's based on, like, Atlantis, in the history. But I digress. I'm not going to get that deep into that. But anyway, after watching that movie, I felt like, I'm not going to give away the movie, but just the fact that when they would come to the USA, how different the nation of Wakanda was versus the United States. The way they did things, the way they loved on each other, the way they, like, perfect example, again, even though it's supposed to be make believe, just I look at it how with us in the United States and with the world, how everything evolves from, decade to decade. I mean, decades ago, we didn't have the technology. In Wakanda, they had the technology, and but the way they utilize their technology is so different from the way we utilize our technology. And again, I don't know how this is about to tie in, but it's going to tie in, I'm sure, because this was Spirit putting on my heart to talk about. Okay, so I looked at how they utilize their technology as a form of, power in a good way, helping them to evolve as a nation in a good way. They wasn't using it to, I don't know if I can compare it to social media. There's so many things that people do with social media. Some people use it for the good. Some people use it for, trashing people or making people look bad, or some people use it for a outlet to put their emotional business out there to the world. Some people use it, like I'm using it, to uplift people. We have all of these different ways that we can use it, but yet individually we choose to use it in a different way, rather it's bad or good. But so now if something's being our life is being done for us or whatever like that, when we take and we go out and we look at different things, it's like the universe will lead you to different things like the movie so that you can look at life from a different perspective. You get what I'm saying? And for me, that life being done to me, for me, I can't even remember how it went. But the life being done to me is a form of me being able to go and see that movie and look at it and knowing, like, for me, what I need to bring to the table and be firm on, and making sure that just because I was watching that movie Wakanda and I got such good feelings as far as how they utilized things and how they coexisted, and it wasn't about the status. It wasn't about, what you got going on in your life. It was just about the friendship, the relationship, the happiness, the bonds, the loyalty, the protection over each other and over each other's life, and just making sure that each other is straight. Where when we come to the United States, it's a lot of me. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of me. And I just kind of like walked away thinking like, damn, I really wish there was more of us, as opposed to me out here. I think that the world would be a different place. Again, I don't know, this is going left, but whatever, y'all. This I'm just rolling with it. So I really wish that, that we would reflect on ourselves individually and ask ourselves, if life is being done, for us. Let me bring up the title so I could get it right. If life is being done, whether it's to us, for us, or whatever like that, we're not doing a life. We're here. You get what I'm saying? Then we need to start paying more attention to what it is that we're putting out here in the universe. You know what I'm saying? We need to start paying attention as to what is it that, why do we feel the way we feel from day to day? Why is it that, we may, you're doing nothing, you're just being done. Okay, so that's what it is. You're doing nothing, you're just being done. So let me get back and clarify that. So when we reflect on what we got going on with our individual lives, why we feel the way we feel, why we do the things we do, if we really be honest with ourselves and we ask ourselves, like, are we here doing for everybody else, to appease everybody else, to not in a way of, okay, I'm on this podcast show, this is my journey, this is my calling, right, to come out into the world and uplift people through words, right? So I know why I'm doing this. I'm not doing this for for status. I guess that's what I say. I'm doing this for the passion. You got different things that people do for versus passion and versus status. And sometimes you got to ask yourself, are you doing what you're doing for status, for money, for passion, for your calling? You get what I'm saying? The people of Wakanda, when you watch the movie, they did things for passion. That's how I looked at their whole nation. They did things out of passion, and I think that's why they had a peaceful nation. Yes, they had to fight and all of that whole bit, and in the movie they had a fight come to them, whatever. But when I looked at how, as far as when we got to United States, or the world, we can be so judgmental, as into one another, as into race, religion, and things of that nature, or again going back to what each other's calling is, or what each other is wearing, how each other look. You get what I'm saying? But watching that movie, it was just like there was no judgment. There was protection. There was fight for your nation and all that whole bit, but there was no judgment. And I know y'all probably like, if y'all saw the movie, it's like, how do I zero in on that? It's because I guess that's where the whole you're doing nothing, you're just being done comes in for me. Looking at Wakanda made me realize that, okay, my gifts, my new gifts, found gifts and talents, while some people might look at me in a weird sense, like, and when I first got into this, I didn't want, certain close ones or family members to know, because I didn't know how they were going to take it. But yet this is something that was already embedded in me, but had to be released at a certain time in my life. And that's where the you're doing nothing, you're just being done comes in. It's like I had to go through, and I'm talking to y'all individually. If you look at yourself right now, you have to go through your life journey to get to certain points for certain things to be activated within you. So because you're ready for it at that point. You get what I'm saying? If things are activated prior to when you're ready, it's going to be a disaster. Rather it be you coming to yourself and realizing why you're here, why you exist, why you do have the gifts and the talents that you have. And also you looking at yourself and asking yourself, if you are, if you know some of the gifts and the talents that you have, but you are suppressing them, ask yourself, what is it that makes you suppress them? You get what I'm saying? Like with me, being a reader and energy healer and stuff like that, where I come from, and some of the people, family members or whatever, some people don't get that. They don't understand it. Some people might think that's weird or whatever like that, which in the beginning made me suppress it. But yet when I was suppressing it, that was basically me cheating the people that needed my gifts. You get what I'm saying? So I guess this is where this is going, when the universe says, you're doing nothing, you're just being done. You know what I mean? Because we come in to this world, and I know this 17 minutes in and I'm finally getting it, but we come into this world pure, right? We come into this world pure. And we really don't know why we're here. We really just know our surroundings, and we're learning from our surroundings. And I talked about this from other on other shows and stuff like that, but we are learning from our surroundings. And so because we learn from our surroundings and who our upbringing and all that stuff, we start to believe that is us. You know what I'm saying? We start to identify with just that, with what we know. But we can have these burning desires within us that we don't even turn on. We don't even allow ourselves to turn on, because if we turn it on and we allow the universe to have that control and pretty much let them do us, I guess to say, then it's like you feel like, okay, this is not my life. Maybe you feel that way. Maybe you feel like, I'm so used to being this one way. I don't know nothing else, so I'm just going to stay this one way. And maybe with the feelings and the desires that I have within me, they're just something in passing. Maybe it'll go away. You get what I'm saying? But I'm here to tell you that once you start to embrace those desires, once you really start to allow the universe to do you, to you know what I mean, to acknowledge the fact that you're doing nothing, you're just being done, that is when you get to your strongest point. That is when amazing things start to happen within your life. Amazing things start to unfold. Even it's like from client to client, I'm learning more about me. And it's because I allowed myself to stop trying to be in control of me. You get what I'm saying? I allowed And don't get me wrong, that's a challenge to do, especially when you want life to go. You have this plan, right? And you want it to go exactly the way you want it to go. But it don't. And then you start to wonder and you start to get stuck in your head and you start to overthink things like, okay, where did I go wrong? Instead of looking at it like, no, this is how things are supposed to unfold, because there's something within this that I need to maybe level up on within myself. Maybe I need to, work on different parts of me. Maybe, that plan that I have, it can come to life, but I might need to work on some things about me first. Maybe I need to have more confidence. Maybe I need to have, level up on my courage. Maybe I need to level up on my organization, or whatever you got going on that deep down inside that if you want a thing, and for all y'all out there, it could be anything. I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? But if you want a thing and it's not coming to you, again, maybe it's never meant. And maybe the universe got something else for you, whether it be, job or occupation, career, or relationship, or whatever. Whatever it is, what it is that's closely on your heart right this moment as you're listening to me. Or maybe you just, like I said, need to tune more into the universe, or really tap into what your heart desire is and allow that to unfold. Blindly. You get what I'm saying? And then just trust the universe to take the reins and be done. You know what I'm saying? Let the universe do things the way it needs to be done. And just go. I know this sounds kind of crazy, but I think that anybody that's listening and that really needed this message as into where they are in their life right now, and if things are maybe not in your control, or perfect example, maybe this might simplify what I'm saying right now, because I really believe that this message is kind of, even for me, a little a little confusing. I don't know, but I'll give you a perfect example. So my mom came down, right? She was here for 2 weeks. Me and my son, we had so many plans. We hadn't seen her for a year because she was, down. She had a few surgeries last year, so she had to heal. And so we had all these plans. We wanted to take her these different places. My son had his own plans. I had my own plans. And then we had a couple plans together, right? About maybe 3 days in. No, matter of fact, I think 2 days in, my son discovered that he was coming down, got sick, and wound up having to, work from home. Thank God he was able to work from home. But in that, of course, we had to keep our distance, so there weren't a lot of the plans because he was sick, and then all of a sudden I got sick. Now, mind you, our immune systems are very strong. We haven't been sick all this year, but lo and behold, right when my mom comes down, we get sick, right? So now we both have to kind of keep our distance. I think mine's kicked in maybe 3 days after she got here or something like that. And we had to keep our distance. She got all her little vitamins and shots and stuff, so that was all good. And thank God she never got sick. But the point being is that we had plans, right? We had all these plans, but yet the universe had its own plans. And because I'm at the level in my life when I can sit back and reflect, I know to sit back and reflect when things don't go the way I planned them to go, to ask the universe, like, what's up with this? Like, why wasn't we able to take her out as much as we want to? We did get out, of course, and at the end, we did the movies, we did a couple breakfasts, but we ordered food in from restaurants and stuff, so we kind of was at the restaurant in the house. And what the universe said back to me was that it wasn't about going out. It was about spending quality time. Bam. If that don't sum up with what I'm, talking about I don't know what will. That example alone, we was thinking that it was about getting her out in Georgia and going to all these places and spending this money and all of this stuff to make her little 2 weeks really fulfilling. But if we would have got out all them times, it would have been a bunch of distraction, right? From really spending some quality time. You know, we sat up and we watched movies and we watched shows and we, you know, played a little games or, you know, stuff, just little stuff. And it was very simple. And I guess maybe if I tie in why Wakanda, me talking about the movie Wakanda versus the world and versus what we do with our technology versus what they were doing with theirs, is that, and how they live their life. They live their life in a simple way. And we over here in this world, the United States, I would say, make things more complicated than it has to be. That's how I feel. You know, looking at that movie, that is what allowed me, that was my takeaway. You know, out the whole movie, that was my main takeaway, is life is really not as complicated as we make it. We make it that way because we want to control everything. But if we allow the universe to just take over, we make our requests and we make, you know, our desires known, and we just ask for assistance and say, okay, this is what I desire, but I know you know better. I know you know what my true mission is here in this time, space, and reality is. So, universe, this is my desire. So help me to bring my desires into alignment with my mission in this time, space, and reality. You get what I'm saying? I believe that if we do that, life will be much happier for us. And yeah, I'm happy, you know, as I am. Everybody can always use more happiness, you know, in their life, more joy in their life. We all have our ups and downs and things of that nature, right? We all can have things or people add to our lives that make our lives even more joyful. But I'm just at a state of mind where I'm content with me. And it took me years to get to this point because of the fact that I thought I had to do life instead of allowing the universe to do life for me. You get what I'm saying? In other words, I thought that, you know, me, at some point in my life, really kind of wanting to live like the world, wanting to do things that people expect me to do, or be the way people expect me to be, or look the way people expect me to look because of maybe where I grew up or the people I was surrounded with or whatever. You get what I'm saying? Getting caught up in all of that, it subtracts you. It subtracts the true and authentic you. And I believe that the reason why I'm so happy and content with me right now is because I'm not worried about what other people thinks about me. I'm not worried about other people's opinions of me, of what I'm doing and how I do things. I'm doing what Spirit puts on me from day to day. I deal with the people that Spirit allows me to feel that I should deal with. You hear what I'm saying? Like, there have been, when you go through life, of course, if you a person that goes outside, you're going to come across so many people, you know, and some people are going to be in passing. Some people you're going to make friends with. Some people are going to just be there just as a person to help you look at your life in a different way, to help you level up. It's just so many different ways that people that cross your path have meaning in your life, you know. And as I said, sometimes the things that we think is bad is really for our good, really just to help us to look at us and ask ourselves, like, why do we need to be this way? Why do we need to look this way? Why do we need to have these people in our lives? Why, just actually self-talk with yourself. And I think that when we start buckling down and having those conversations with ourselves and being truthful with ourselves and asking ourselves, like, okay, I'm doing this certain thing, and how is it adding to my life? Or what is it subtracting from my life? Is it adding character to me, or is it subtracting character from me? Is it good character? Is it bad character? Am I sowing good karma? Am I sowing bad karma by doing this thing, by being with these people, by, looking this way? Am I attracting good or bad energy to me by acting this way, by dressing this way, by thinking this way? These are the things that I believe that the universe wants us to view from day to day, and allow the universe. And y'all know when I say the universe, I'm talking about whatever God you pray to. Hopefully is at least one that that there's something higher than yourself, out here that you could call on and that you can connect with whenever you don't have anybody else to connect with about a certain situation in your life, and you can receive the answers. You get what I'm saying? So, when it's like you're doing nothing, you're just being done. That's what I'm saying, guys. I mean, at this point in my life, I've lived a few decades, and if I go back and I look at everything in my life, like I had this conversation with my son yesterday, because 11/11 was here, and that was a portal for us to really kind of, any portal that comes, any eclipse moon, all of that stuff, those are the times to really kind of sit back and look at ourselves, look at our lives, look at where our lives are going, and kind of being honest with ourselves and asking ourselves, like, okay, what is it that I could have done differently? Or not the fact that I had to do things differently, but moving forward, what is it that I need to release control over to allow it to flow, to allow things to flow the way that is beneficial to my higher good. Let's say it that way. Okay. Sometimes that's how it needs to go, guys. And today's show is just really, I don't know, I guess I really feel like I'm speaking from my spirit. I mean, like every show, that's my intention. But I really feel like if you are still listening from this point on, kudos to you, because I believe that, we go through this life and everything has to be, rush. We don't want to. Spirit can give you something and you can skim through it. People skim through texts, and my son is good for that. I'll send him a text, and I'm a person that, I'm very detailed. So therefore, some of my texts be very long. Most of my texts be very long because I'm a detailed person. And I look at it like this. If a person skims through what I got to say, then it's like, how much do you care on what I got to say? How much are you paying attention? And that's a reflection on how you go through life. And I had that conversation with my son, like when you skim through things, when you have through things, that's a reflection on how you will do life, how your life will be, if it's a message that can come to you through, like sometimes I listen to audiobooks a lot. And sometimes other videos may just come across my queue, but it's something that I can learn from. And I'm a person that I will listen to, especially an informational video from beginning to end. Now, if it's something long, of course, I'll break it down and I might listen a little bit this time, a little bit the next time, because this is the thing. A lot of the times, whenever there's a message in something, it's towards the end. A lot of times it might be, the nuggets may be in the middle or the end of the message. Because a lot of the times when people deliver things, it's like you just getting started. You get what I'm saying? You just getting started. So it's like you're warming up to the main event. You're warming up to the main thing. It's just like a person running a race. If they running long distance, they want to pace themselves. And then as they get to the middle of the race, they start speeding up a little bit. They get to the end, they go full-fledged. They trying to hit that finish line before the next person, And that's how you get the victory. That's how you get the victory. When you do something full-fledged. When you don't skim through things, when you pay attention more to the details of your life, to the little things, the little nuggets, the little, hiccups that you've had, and you go back and you say, hey, now I realize why that situation happened to me. Now I realize why, that person did that to me. Because if that person didn't do what they did, and you all know when I'm talking to y'all, everybody has their own situation. That's why I talk in this way in general. I don't want everything like I share from my standpoint, because I want you to pick up something that you got going on that you can kind of say, hey, not that what I'm saying far as me is going to remind you, you're going to have the same situation, but I'm sure that you can evaluate what you got going on and say, hey, that thought, I need to apply it to something that just happened, and kind of look and, okay, Adionne said that they wanted to take their mom out, her mom out and all of that, and they had all these big plans, but it all fizzled out. But at the end of the day, it all was greater than they planned it to be, because the universe took over and sat me and my son down to the point that we had to allow it to flow the way the universe wanted it to flow. You know what I'm saying? We had to simplify things and utilize the entertainment within our house to make her vacation be fulfilling. And you know what she said? She said she actually rathered it be the way it was. She really just missed us. She really just wanted to spend time with us, and it wasn't about going out and doing all of these things. It was about just spending that quality time at the end of the day. And I guess I'm going to leave off with that, saying that sometimes we get so caught up in the fact that, and me going back to the whole Wakanda thing and how their lives was so simple, and they enjoyed each other, and it was just a simple life. They didn't have all of this. They didn't use their technology for the social media, but yet they would come to the United States, and that's what they use their technology. Two different worlds, but the chaos and the unbalance of the United States versus the fulfillment and the fullness and joy of Wakanda were two totally different things. And I truly believe that all movies are not just entertainment. They are messages for us. They are messages for us to look at our lives and apply. Not the killing movies. I'm not talking about that, y'all. Even though it was some killing in Wakanda, but it was for different causes. You know what I mean? But the thing is, when we ask ourselves that, when we look around at the things that we have accumulated in our lives and the effort we put forward to get things, rather it be materialistic things, and versus rather it be flourishing in our true calling, what is it balanced? What are you giving your attention to more? Are you giving your attention to the status of you, or are you giving your attention to the being of you? That's the way it came out, guys. The being of you. And maybe it came out that way because the title is You're Doing Nothing. You're just being done. You're just being done. So are you giving more attention to the status of you and what everybody wants you to be, expects you to be, or what you even think people expect? Sometimes we can think people expect us to be a certain way, and that's not the case. A person could just want you to just be the way you be. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of people put so much emphasis because, like, my son was discussing with me, like, about how he's not too much of a social media person like me, you know, and that's my challenge, is being consistent on social media because of the fact that I'm more of a builder. I'm more of a builder in so many ways and creative person in so many ways, and I prefer that, and that makes me the happiest and gives me the most joy, as opposed to being out there flexing on social media. And that's not what I do. I just like to be me, you know, and it brings me more joy not having to put forth all this effort to look a certain way, and I'm not about trying to keep up with the Joneses. And, you know, it breaks my heart that, you know, a lot of women out here are wanting to alter their bodies and all of this stuff because they believe that is going to make them more attractive. When, again, I go back to looking at the movie Wakanda, and they were all about strength. They were all about, you know, health, but they wasn't all about the, you know, flexing and the fashion and all of that whole bit, you know, although they would fly in my eyes, but, you know, it just breaks my heart that, you know, people feel like they gotta do so many alterations to themselves in order to be accepted, you know, when all in all, you're really doing nothing. You're just being done. And when you decide that you are not going to do all of these things to appease all of these people, but you're going to do things to appease you and your passions in life and your assignments in life, I guarantee you will watch life unfold in front of your very eyes in a way that you would never imagine it could be. You know, when you start simplifying your life, man, it is the best feeling you could ever feel. And that's just my experience. But I'm here to tell you because I've been through so many phases of my life, and I'm just at a point where I'm so happy with me, and I'm so accepting of me, how I look, how I flow, how I dress. Yeah, you know, certain days, certain moods, certain vibes and things of that nature. And I just go with the flow from day to day. And so I'm at the point in my life where if people don't accept me for me fully, then I know for sure they're not meant to be a part of my life. And that's where I'm at. And I'm telling you guys, when you get to that point in your life, it is so freeing and it's so fulfilling. It's so fulfilling. And that's where I'm at this point in my life. I just, from day to day, I do what's on my heart to do, rather, and I do things that is within my desires, my passion, my assignment, my purpose. I am the most fulfilled when I'm walking in my purpose. And now I know what it means to find your purpose in this time, space, and reality, and how important it is. So when we stop worrying about the world and how the world sees us and what we feel like we need to do to fit in the world, but we stop and we worry about, and we not worry, but we focus more on fitting into ourselves. And that's deep, guys. We focus more on fitting into ourselves, no matter what anybody else thinks, no matter what anybody else feels about it, because we are all individuals. We were all born by ourselves. We're going to all die by ourselves. You get what I'm saying? But we start focusing on fitting into ourselves instead of fitting into the world, instead of fitting into some type of group or neighborhood or whatever, or society. Only then will you be the most fulfilled individual in this time, space, and reality. And only then will you realize what it means when the universe says, you're doing nothing, you're just being done. So I'm going to leave y'all with that, okay? And I'm glad that Spirit started bringing things together, because I even me myself, I told y'all, I don't never know what's going to come out. I just go with the flow because the messages be for me too. And I really pray that y'all got something out of this, and that you are leaving this podcast show with clarity, more clarity than you had before you put the earphones on or turned the phone up, or however, wherever you listening from. And that is my prayer for each and every last podcast show that I record. And just to let you know, like, some people think that if you missed a live, you missed it. No, if you look, it's all these different episodes, 227 today. You can always listen. It's just that if you want to be in on a live, and this is why if you listen to certain shows, I might have certain hiccups or whatever, because this is live. This is just all me. I'm authentically me, you know. This day, thank God, 5 years later in this podcast, you see the growth. If you started from the beginning, I've changed and I've evolved in so many ways because I started focusing on me, the inward version of me, and who I am and why I'm here and what I have to offer the world and how is it that I can add to the world. When we do those things, guys, trust me, you'll be so much more fulfilled as a being, individual, a spirit, a soul. So let me leave y'all with that. It's already 47 minutes over. And I just want to thank you guys again for all your support, for the books, buying the books, purchasing the books, Visionary Dreamer, 90-Day Journal, and Transform Your Life Workbook, available on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, anything online. April Adionne Williams is the author that you need to search for on Amazon. Now, I did do some search. I got to get with Amazon because I don't know. There's a couple other Aprils and I'll be getting screwed up with that. But I'm going to fix that. So I think if you go to my website, though, Adionne, your dream pusher .website, you will see the link so you could get to everything faster. Okay, guys, but definitely keep sharing. Just thank y'all for y'all support. I love y'all so much. This is why I show up. And just know that I do have a regular life. So from time to time, I might miss it because of clients or work schedule or whatever. You know, last week it was my mom visiting, and I just thank y'all in advance for being overstanding, okay, of that. Till the big money comes in, you know what I mean? So I love you guys. This is Adionne, your dream pusher, your lifeguard, saving you from yourself, the world, and some real bullshit. And you are listening to Chronicles of Livin podcast show, the show for everyday people doing everyday things, living everyday life. You know, us extraordinary folk doing the damn thing the best way we can. I love you guys. And until next week, peace.
The Chronicles of Livin.
We can be whatever we dream.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Chronicles of Livin podcast, where you find only the highest vibrations. Remember, you are extraordinary. And if you're pursuing your dreams, we're proud of you. Because the best part of life is when you decide to live.
Something better is always possible if you're willing to work for it and fight for it.
Stay updated with Adionne by visiting chroniclesoflivin.com or stay connected through social media by following @Chronicles of Livin. Until next time, your dream pusher, Adionne.